webinars. I hope you're doing well. I'm Romain Poirot, partner at Frenchly Media. If you just found out about who we are the leading publication for Americans in love with France and French culture. So today we're going to try to give you all the tips on how to buy a pied-à-terre in Paris. We have an expert, Manuel Ravier, who has been a long-time partner of our media group. We've been working together for over than 10 years, I believe, from when his team was just maybe 15, 20 people back then. And today it's over 200 people with, I think, 15 offices all over France. So your group grew pretty big, which is great because I think we have people who are interested in getting a pied-à-terre in Paris, but not only in Paris, maybe in south of France or all over France. Manuel, can you introduce yourself? The goal today is really to have some interaction. So we're dropping any like presentation. If you need like a specific number, or if you need anything to be screen shared, we can screen share on a specific topic, but the goal is really to interact, exchange with everyone connected. But yeah, Manuel, I'll let you introduce yourself and then we'll start with the questions.
Thank you, Robert. Hi to everyone. So yeah, Manuel, I'm entrepreneur and investor. I started a real estate company in Paris like 12 years ago with a partner. And yeah, we started at 2. And it was like a beautiful entrepreneurship story because we grew up from 2 people to 200 people, which is a lot for France. And we are very happy about that. And we help people to invest in France only on real estate. And our specialty is like we offer like a turnkey service. So we find the best opportunities in 20 cities in France. We help our customer to renew the flat, to make it beautiful. And we help our customer to furnish the flat because you want to have something furnished and like really turnkey. And we manage some flats, and we manage like 2,000 flats in different cities in France for the renting. So we can also like take everything and manage it for you. Yeah, our team is like available in local places like south of France, Paris, Bordeaux, Lyon, different places in France. And I love to help people to invest in France because I'm passionate, because I also invest in France since like 10 years. At the very, very beginning of the company, I couldn't because the bank told me like you can't have a mortgage, and I start from zero. I didn't have like parents' money, unfortunately. But right now, I own like with my partner, we own like 150 flats that are rent, and we do exactly the same. We did exactly the same that we do for our customers. So we will spend time together today. I'm very happy about that. It's a special day for you, maybe about the election. I won't speak about politics because it's not my business, but maybe there will be like some economic impact. Maybe some of you are happy, some of you are not happy, probably. So yeah, it's not the question today, but I will try to make highlight about like all the specification for real estate in France. If you have question, and if you're here, I guess you have. We will speak about finance, how to finance the mortgage. Like, sorry for my English, I'm not like, as you can see, I'm a real French. We'll speak about mortgage rate, condition for the bank, or you could like take some money in France, because I guess, and I really think that French banks are nicer than the American bank. We'll speak about that after, with better condition, I mean. And we'll speak about taxes. You will see that taxes are not so bad in France for real estate, not so bad at all. And I guess in a way are very good if you can use the good like system of taxes. And we'll speak about location, and we can speak about everything that you want. So this was like my introduction. To speak about the specificity of the French market, I will start with like the tax and maybe tax stuff. So or maybe more like the good part of France. The good part of France for real estate market is like we have like a very like resilient real estate market. So even in like big crisis like 208, in some places in US, you had like a big drop and after a big jump, but a lot of volatility in the real estate US market. And the French real estate market is more resilient. So it's more like a constant growth. Sometimes it's not like as bullish than the real estate market, than the real estate US market, sorry, for sure. But it's good to have like a resilient product because you are more in a safe place, I guess. And why our real estate market is more resilient for different reasons. But first, because like people take mortgage like in fixed rate. So even if the rate go crazy, like that did last 2 years because of the inflation, um, our mortgage doesn't move because you take money, you borrow money with like a fixed rate. So whatever the inflation, you will always pay the same amount each month for your mortgage, which is like something that stabilize the market. We see in UK, for example, in London, when it was like crazy inflation, people couldn't pay their mortgage. So some people, not everyone for sure, but some people like just sell on the market in a bad condition, and like with a down real estate market, and like a lot of people that sell as the property, for sure the price go down more. So we don't have that in France. Second stuff is like France has a lot of like, how do you call that, Romain? Like functionary? What do you call that?
Yeah,
Public worker?
Yeah, public worker, yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of public worker, so which is bad because like in a way we have like too much public worker. We could think that, but I speak about real estate market right now, and like with a lot of public worker, even if you have like a crisis, like employment crisis, like sometimes that happen in the world, our work market is very resilient too, because like we have more security for the contract, like long-term contracts, CDI, we call that, like long-term contract for workers in the private, and a lot of public worker. So when there is a crisis, people are not in the street saying like, okay, I lost my job in 2 days and I don't have anything to pay my mortgage or to eat. So this is good and bad. I'm not saying like we have the best system. I will never think that. I just say like for the resilience of the real estate market, this is a good point because like people are more protected, so they can pay their mortgage, and so the real estate market doesn't go down like crazy.
Manuel.
So yeah.
Talking, I don't want to interrupt you, but talking about the mortgage, we had Patrick. He just emailed us about 20 minutes ago. He said, what does the mortgage process look like in Paris? And is it any different in Normandy, or it's the same all over France? And he has a second question on another topic about the mortgage property, if we can use it if we want to do a gîte or Airbnb.
Yeah. So for the first question, this is like we can have some little difference between the region. So if you check like the different rates, we have like a very, very little difference between region and that between different part of France, and that change all the time. So depends of the politic of each bank, okay? But it's mostly the same. And right now, for example, people borrow the money at 3.50% for long-term mortgage. For example, for 20 years, it's a fixed mortgage rate, okay? And what is crazy in France is like it's a fix, but that can move. So it's not really fixed. But what is crazy is like that can move only in a good way for you. Why? Because like, for example, you have like a 1,000 a month mortgage down payment. And like if the rate go down in 1 year, for example, or 2 years, which is like our prediction is like right now we are 3.5% for 20 years mortgage rate. We think we will be 3 at the beginning of 2025. And a lot of experts think, and I think the same, that we will be at the end of 2025 like 2.5%. Okay, so go down for 1% or more, between 2 and 2.5.
So we
Ju-
can
just
basically we can refinance like in the US.
exactly, but no,
Okay.
it's I guess it's better than US for that. I will explain why. But just
Okay.
keep in mind that 2 years or 3 years ago in France, you could borrow money, and I did that a lot for 1% on rate fix. 1%. My best money buy from the bank was like 0.8% for 20 years mortgage rate for 1,500,000. It was only one, it was my bigger acquisition in Paris. And so all my mortgage are between 0.8 and 1.3% on 20 years. So why I say that, not to say I add that, to say that it's not impossible that in the next 5 years, we could go back to the 1% or 1.5%. And I guess with like Trump and with like the China right now that want to like make some, I don't know the term, but like print more money because they want to relaunch the economy. Okay. So that will have an effect, and it's probable that the mortgage rate go down. So what is difference with US? What is the difference with US for the renegotiation? The main difference is like in our contract, bank have to introduce a stuff that say, because it's legal in France. In France, you have to know that people are very protected from the bank, because French state think that the bank are powerful and more powerful than like little citizen like me, or even non-citizen like you. And so France protect the little citizen, or the little the little person against the bank. I'm sorry about my English. I'm a mess.
Okay.
But like, so if you want to renegotiate your rates, you can do it. And the fine for that from the bank, so you have to pay something, will be only 6 months of interest, not of mortgage, 6 months of interest. So it's nothing. And this is the limit. They can't charge more. So this is crazy. I guess this is crazy. There is something else, and after I stop to speak about mortgage, the other point is like you can renegotiate your like health insurance, because when you make a mortgage, you have to take an insurance. So if you die, or if you have a problem, it's not very expensive. But if you have a problem, if you die or anything, like the mortgage is paid by the insurance, fully paid. You will say like, okay, but I'm dead, so I don't care. You will care, because the people you love, your children, your wife, your husband, will have it for full paid. So they have it's of course it's a bad news, and I don't wish you that for sure. But in a way, I know that if I die tomorrow, I have 2 kids. I know they will be like rich. So this is not the idea, but this is a problem, a less problem. I have two
Yeah.
kids.
You're not
It's
gonna
like
give
it's crazy.
you're not gonna pass any debt to your kids.
No, it's better than that. I will give them a lot of stuff so they can have a better life. This
Yeah.
is crazy. It's good. I like it. So this kind of insurance, you take one with your mortgage, and even that you can renegotiate after making it. So usually the bank sell you something, and you can cut the cost of the insurance for the same insurance. Cut the cost for 3 times or 4 times. I did it, and like they can't say no, and there is no fine, no fine. This is crazy. So you can do that, and the last stuff you can do, which is really crazy, I guess for a mortgage, is like you take a mortgage on 20 years, for example, and 1 year you have to wait at least 12 months of payment. And after that, you can just say to the bank, okay, I want to pay less than, like, for example, you were paying like 1,000 a month for your mortgage. And you say to the bank, okay, I want to pay less than that. And the bank can't say no, and they can't move the mortgage rate. And so, for example, if you have like 20 years remaining, just to make it something easy, 20 years remaining of payment, you will have 22, so 10% more So you will say 22, and your mortgage monthly payment will be not 1,000 but 900, which is crazy because you just have to ask it, and they have to do it, so they do it just with the ask. So this is crazy. I guess for all this reason, we have something very protective and very interesting in the rate. Right now in the US, it's 7%, I guess, mortgage rate,
It's
long
around
term,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 6.5, I don't know. But
Yeah.
like nearly the double than us. And you don't, I guess, you don't have all this advantage because like US is more liberal, and banks are very like powerful there. So this is about the mortgage. So right now you will say like, okay, Manuel, it's nice, but you are French. It's easy for you to borrow money. Could I borrow money for invest in France? You can do it. The only thing the bank will ask you is to have a down payment. So first payment, down payment, Romain? This
Yeah,
is?
down payment. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now your English is better than you think.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So the down payment will be like around 35% of the project, of the total project. So for example, you buy something like 200,000, the flat, 50 for the work if you want to renew everything, the furnish 10, the tax, because we have a tax when you buy the flat, you have to pay a percentage tax. We call that notary tax, and like it's 8% of the price. So you will pay all of that. For example, 300,000. Okay, the bank will ask you to put 100,000. So so 35% on the table, and they will borrow you some money. You will borrow some money for 200,000. Yeah. So this is what you can do if you want to invest in France and take the money from our bank. And if you want to do that, you have to speak with like special people because like for the normal bank, this is not like an easy file to help people that don't live in France. So it's easier to speak with like people that have that are specialized in that because it's special department for international people in bank. I can help you about that. So just email me. You will have my email if you want to just know how much you could, how much you
You
could
could
like
borrow.
borrow, and just email us, and we can try to help you about that.
Yeah,
So this was about like the
I put
yeah.
the email of Manuel in the chat. If
Thank you.
you want to reach out to him. Yeah.
So this
So
was about the mortgage. Yeah.
to sum up, I mean, if we're a US resident or an American or British or Australian, I don't know where you guys listening this webinar from. We need to go through like a mortgage broker who specialize in non-resident, right? That's kind of the idea.
Exactly. Yeah, and we can help you. So maybe tell us in the chat. I don't see the chat. There is some message.
Hélène is asking a question. If you're over 70,
Okay.
you cannot get a mortgage in France.
Yeah, over 70, it's complicated. You're right. You can, I guess, because they don't want to make insurance for people over 70. So, for example, my parents took a mortgage at 62 for 15 years, but for the last 5 years, they don't have an insurance, and bank doesn't like that. So it's complicated. Sorry, Alan.
It's not impossible, huh? It's
Nothing is
hard.
impossible, but yeah, it's hard. Maybe they will. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
So, okay.
An anonymous attendee, do you borrow renovation costs with the mortgage?
Yeah, sure. When I speak about like 35% of down payment, I speak about like the buy, donc the flat you buy or the house you buy. I speak about the renovation because they can give you money, mortgage for that. The furnish, the taxes, and the fee, the agency fee. Yeah. How does it work if you
How
have
does
dual
it work if you
citizenship?
have
Uh,
dual citizenship, France and US, and your income is coming from the US?
yeah, actually, that will be a little
Manuel.
bit. Yeah, actually, that will be like a little bit easier, but not so much because the real stuff is like, do you live in France or do you live abroad? We have a lot of like French people in our customers that live abroad, And this is like something like expatriate special file. So because your work revenue are not in France, you are like in the second case. So it's yeah, this is more important for them than the citizenship. We don't forbid like some country to invest if you're not French. You can't you can invest even if you're not French. Yeah. So this was about the mortgage. If you have any other question, just ask it and I can answer after. And right now we can speak about the taxes because usually people say like, oh, France is very bad for taxes. It's like a communist place. And that could be true in some stuff. But we pay a lot of taxes for employees. I have a company, I pay for my employees and my employees pay too, for sure. So yeah, and the company pay too. So when you speak about that, it's a lot of taxes. But for real estate, it's not a lot. For example, if you have like if you buy a flat in Paris, we have a tax which is like a tax that you pay annually, and it is like a property tax. And when I spoke with my American friend, I was in shock. They told me like about the property tax in Texas or in New York or in California, in Marin, for example, because they're friends there, close to San Francisco. And when I speak with them, they speak about that tax, and I'm in shock. I say like, what? Like a percentage of the valuation of the flat? It's very expensive. In France, for example, so you can have like an idea. If you buy a flat in Paris, the kind of I don't know the translation for taxe fonciere, but like we could
Property
say
tax.
we could say property tax. So yeah, it's like 2 months of rent. No, 2 weeks. Excuse me, 2 weeks of rent. So for example, if the valuation of your flat in Paris in long term rental is like 2,000 a month, you will pay 1,000 usually. So it's not like based on the rent exactly like that because the calculation is very hard and we don't care about the calculation. But just to keep it in mind, you will pay between 2 weeks and 1 month. Depends where you are in France. And the more per place you go in France, the more you will pay because this tax is low in Paris, for example, because we have a lot of companies that pay other local taxes. So they don't have a lot of taxes on the property tax. For example,
So
if you go like,
just
yeah,
to understand well, so if I invest like a $300,000 apartment in Paris, you're saying that the property tax will be about 2 weeks to a month of how much I can rent the property for, right?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Which is not a lot.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot. And because like if you go in a very bad, but you won't do that, but if you go in a very bad place in France, because we have like poor city, like everywhere, if you go in a very bad and lost and bad city in France, because the people there will be very poor and there is no company maybe, so the property tax will be higher than that, maybe like 2 months of rent, but on a more little valuation for sure, but yeah, kind of. So keep in mind, the more rich is the place you go, usually the more taxes they take from like companies and other kind of taxes. So the less expensive is the property tax. So this is one of the very interesting thing investing in Paris because it's one of the lower in France compared to the rent.
We have a question. Do you want to take the
Yeah,
question or you want to keep going?
yeah, I can. I have to say.
Charles, are you required to obtain a mortgage from a French bank institution if your money is managed by Fidelity Investment, Charles Schwab, or another big brokerage? Fidelity, Charles Schwab is kind of like a BNP, Société Générale, you know.
I'm not sure about the question. Like you have money there in this bank, and yeah, you keep your money. You can keep your money there. Depends what kind of bank you will say, but usually they want to earn money. They are less expensive than US bank, I swear, but they want to earn some money. So usually they will say, okay, but put a little bit of money on investment. You can invest in like shares or what you want in the bank. And if, for example, it depends of your situation, because if you go to a private bank here is like for people that have some money. If you go to a private bank, you can usually they will ask you to invest money on funds or this kind of stuff. So you can choose the funds, and they will take like what do you call that? Take like a security on the amount, so you can invest it where you want, but you can't put it off. And if you don't pay your mortgage, they will take the money from. Yeah. I hope I answer you. How often do you pay property tax?
If
One time a month, one time a year. Yeah.
in case Charles, in case the answer was not good enough, feel free to ask again the question or add any details. Vern is asking, how often do you pay property tax? What did you say this had to do with the rental fees?
So this is exactly the property tax season in France. So people are not happy, people like me, because I pay a lot of different ones. No, I don't, I'm kidding. We pay that one time a year for this tax. And yeah, I just compare that to the rent that you can have from your flat. It's not, they have a complex calculation, the administration. But usually I say, because I see it and I have some flat in Paris, that it's usually around like sometimes less than that. For example, I bought a luxury property in Paris and I don't pay a lot. It was like only 1,000 a year, 1,000 a year for 1,500,000 property. But they put
So
it,
the property
yeah,
is 1.5 million in Paris, and the
yeah.
property tax is only 1,000 euro per
But it
year.
was not normal. It was because they didn't reevaluate for years. So I have an advantage about that.
But what would be normal? What would be normal?
I guess what would be normal for this property, like, yeah, 2,000, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
which
still
is
very
nothing.
far away from what we pay in
Yeah,
the US
sure.
in a big city like New York or feel free to
Yeah,
comment about the conversation where the goal is
yeah.
to exchange here.
So,
Anali, what is the
yeah,
website for your business?
I will put the link. Uh, so the other point is like we have other taxes. I put it here. I don't know. Also live. I don't know. I put it on the chat, Romain. You can
Yeah,
share it.
I'll share
So
it.
we have other taxes. For example, if you say like, okay, I love France, I dream about France, and thank you for that. Yeah, you are very welcome to come in France. And I want to invest like on south of France or in Paris in a real estate in a property, and I want to have something like profitable because it's good for me to have a flat, but maybe I will enjoy it in 10 years, or maybe it will be for my student kids because we have very good like school in Paris and it's not expensive compared to US. So we know a lot of people that say like, I love the French culture. I love Paris. It's a good country, and they have good university. So for me, it's a good like opportunity to put them there. So they have the culture, they can enjoy Paris, and they have good education for very very low price because Paris could seems cheap for American people. We were speaking about that with Romain about health. For example, health is not expensive for us. It's around free because we paid that in taxes. But even for you, you will pay for something, but it's very very cheap compared to Dubai, to US, or this kind of places. So, for example, if you say like, I buy a flat, I put it in rent right now, and I will enjoy it in years. So you will have like rental income, which is our business with a lot of customer. And good news, you won't pay a lot of taxes on the rental income, and you will pay zero for 10 years because we can like use like the, how do you call that? The amortissement, comment tu dis ça, Romain? How do you say that? Amortization.
Yeah, amortization, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
It
we have a
works.
amortization system. So you will have your rental incomes. You will put in deduction like everything, even the property tax go in deduction. But you will put in deduction like the price of the flat with a system of amortization, the price of the renovation, the price of the furnished, the taxes for the property manager. If you have a property manager, everything you pay, you will put in amortization. So at the end, you will pay a tax of 37%. It's 37 for foreign people on zero. So 37 of zero is zero. So this is for 10 years. And after that, you will keep some amortization. You will end the amortization of the furnished, for example. So you will pay, but not a lot of taxes on your rental income, which is a very interesting step because you can make grow your portfolio with like zero taxes. And this is why I bought so much flat, because I was not from a rich family. I was not like, yeah, I just had the system. I bought a lot with the money of the bank, and like my company helped me for sure because I didn't have the time to manage it. And with the money of the bank, I put it in rent, and the rent was paying the mortgage. That's it. And there is no taxes at the beginning. And the more you invest, the more that decay. How do you say that? Decal? My God.
The more you push back,
You report the first year
yeah,
of payment. So
yeah,
if you do that, you can um, make it profitable for the first year, and maybe after use it as like a pied à terre
delay,
and say like, yeah, for your
delay.
retirement in the south, or yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anali is asking, are you going to get to the actual property search, prices, and pitfall? Do you mean in
To
the
speak about like
webinar
the price
or
on the market. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's hard for me because like we have different kind of customer. So some customer, to speak about the two different type of customer that come to our company. Some customer come and say like, I want the more profitable real estate property in France that I can have. So I can go in very little city, make like some Airbnb management, and have like from 10 to 15% of return.
which
So
cities?
it's
We want to know which
we
cities.
can go to the north, Le Havre, for example. We can go
Yeah,
to the south, Toulon, which is a
yeah.
city in the south. We have good opportunities there. And we can go to some places in Marseille. Maybe you know Marseille. Yeah. And some of the customers say like, I want something mixed, like between like uh, patrimoine, something, what do you call that? Between a place that is already evaluated, like Paris or Nice, and like the profitable, the pure profit place. So we go in some corner of Paris, for example. We can go in the 11. I live in the 11 corner, or we can go in like the 20th corner, and you can have like 5 to 6%, depends. In Paris, you can have that. In other places in France, you can have 6 to 8%, okay, of return. And after that, I have some customer, and usually it's people that have more money on the bank account or that want something special. And they say like, okay, I'm American. I want to, this is a cliche, but that's true. I want to live I want to have something in the eighth corner, so close to Champs-Élysées. I want something in the seventh, close to Eiffel Tower or Rue Saint-Dominique. And there you will pay a lot, even if we can help you to have the better opportunity. But even the better opportunity, it's expensive. So we are not magical. It's not magical. Or you can go to the south in Nice, and you will pay like something more important, and the return will be from 3.5 to 5%, for example. So it depends of your strategy, what you want, and we can speak about that in one-to-one and show you some example. If you take like, just send me an email, and I will make you having an appointment for free with someone of my team that is like English speaking, and we can also show you some example. I will show you some examples that we made for people that live in US. And for example, I can share my screen right now, and this is a product I'm very happy for my customer, already sold. But he asked us, it's an American lawyer that live in New York, and he bought different. He's French speaking, but he bought like different property with us. And for example, this is something in the famous Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré, which is amazing, one of the best address of Paris. He wanted like beautiful corner. It's in the 8th, and he bought like 58. I have to translate that in like. Could you do that, Romain?
It's
In like
yeah,
square meter
50
feet,
square
because you
meter.
speak in square meter.
It's about 650 square foot. I can do the exact translation if you want.
Okay, perfect. So, for example, this is like a divide. So he bought this property, and because we can do that on that property, we cut it because there is two doors, 1, 2. So he asked us with the renovation to cut it in two different flats around the middle of this. So he can have like two different flats, so a better profitability on the investment. It's not a lot of profitability, but with a price all include of 900 less than 900,000. Okay. So for example, for this flat, he put money on the table, and I guess I don't know that, to be honest, but I guess he put like around 300,000 and he bought that. So the bank give like 600,000. Okay. So yeah, this is Rue du Faubourg. It's here, Rue du
I
Faubourg, so
gave you
close to
the
Charles de Gaulle.
translation in the chat. It's 624 square foot exactly.
So he bought it. So to
Ver-
explain how that works, yeah.
Verne says she cannot see the screen share. Verne,
Ah.
the best is that you go back to Zoom. You may not be on Zoom, or just disconnect, reconnect, and you'll see the screen share. And the best is always to connect via a laptop, not mobile. You can keep going.
So it's interesting because if you work with us, we will. So we sign a contract. You don't have anything to pay, and you only have to pay if we find a flat that you want to buy when you buy it. The day you have the key and you are the owner, this day you have to pay us the commission. Okay. So for example, if you sign a contract with us, we have to sign a contract because legal in France ask when you look for a flat with a real estate agency, you have to sign a contract, but there is no engagement. The only engagement is like if we find your flat and you buy it, you have to pay us for sure. So, for example, we give you the access to your account, investor account on our website, and we send some proposal like that. So you have like the address, you have the PIC. So this is the PIC before the renovation, and you have all the explanation about the project. So there is a balcony too, 9 square meter feet of balcony. This is the 5th floor. There you have the address, you have everything, and you can cut it. So this is possible to cut in 2 different. For this project, only this is possible to cut it in 2 different flats. One flat from 25 square meter, and one other one. So yeah. Okay, so we explain everything, and you can see the cost. So our customer buy it for 650. So this is the only acquisition price. The property tax when you buy it, it's a special tax you have to pay to the France for each property. It's 8% around. So this is what you have to pay. This is for the architect plan. This is the price for the renovation, so for the work. It's not to pay to my company, but to a renovation company. And we will manage everything on the project for him. This is a furnished price. So this is the price for buying all the furnished for the 2 flats, including the kitchen, all the stuff like heater, everything in the flat. Okay. To have something new. This is our fees that you can put like in charge. So that will minor your taxes, but you have to pay us that for this project with taxes included, all included. And at the end, if you add everything, so you pay that. And this is a price turnkey. So you have nothing else to pay. We manage all the projects. So we help you to find the flat, to put all the stuff for the legal. We help you to find the mortgage. We help you with our architect because we are architect employees for sure, and they manage the project for you. So we do everything, and at the end, with this price, you have like a furnished flat or 2 flats in this case, perfect renovation, and we give you the keys and say like, this is your flat. And after that, you can ask us to manage it like rental management and pay us for that like a property manager, but you don't have to. So this is all the cost. After that, we can evaluate all the income. So this is the income that our customer will have on this project. So this is the rental, not in short term, in long term, because in Paris, you can't do short term like you want. It's not authorized. So this is the price like the, how do you call that, Romain? Minor hypothesis?
So,
An
you're
higher
giving
hypothesis.
like,
This
the
is the
minimum,
rental income. Yeah.
your
Minimum rental income and
minimum
maximum.
rental income, maximum rental income. So it should be in the middle of this somewhere.
And yeah, and for example, for this project, this is a property tax. We were speaking about that. So we even tell you this is the property tax. Okay.
So
For a year, not for months, for a year. Yeah.
So just to, I think we can answer the question of Charles at the same time. He was asking
Yeah.
what's on a $2 million purchase in Paris. So if this
Yeah.
is about $1 million when you do the euro
Yeah.
dollar
Yeah.
conversion with
Yeah, I
all
guess,
the
yeah, I thought that around like 2,500, I guess, a year for 2 million. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
basically all the overheads, which is including the HOA, which is HOA is a charge de copropriété in French.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is a monthly stuff you have to pay for the building. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is not to us. This is for the building to manage the building with all the owner of the building.
Yeah.
Each people of the building pay something. I guess it's the same US to for the service, for the cleaning of the building, for the maintenance of the building, etc. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like the HOA kind of thing, the French HOA.
exactly. And after that, our simulation. So you have everything, and after that, you have like the simulator. So this is like the down payment. For example, you can say like, okay, because you're not French resident, you have to put like more on the table. For French residents, it's different. So maybe you put that. You borrow money on 20 years. Okay. Right now, this is you could have you could have that, I guess, in the mortgage rate. Depends of your age for the insurance. I spoke about that at the beginning, but I guess depends of your age. You can put that, and you have like all the costs. So you will pay for the mortgage monthly cost will be around that. Okay.
If you put how much down?
One like 300,000. Okay.
On a project of
900 around.
okay, around
That one.
900. Okay.
And so you can see that the monthly rental around, because this is the low, this is the high, is like it's balanced. Maybe you have to put a little more money on the table, or maybe you have to pay like a 300 a month more. But yeah, it's like that covers the cost. Yeah, you have to notice that we are like in the less profitable project that we manage in France. Usually, French people doesn't ask for that because it's an amazing address, but because it's an amazing address, the profitable is bad for France, because you buy it very expensive. Okay, and the monthly like rent doesn't cover the difference in the buy. Okay, so if you want something more profitable, you can ask us, and we can go in other city in France like Toulon, and for the same amount, 900,000, you can have the double. So you can have like not that, but 90,000. So that change all the balance of the profitability of the project.
Yeah.
But I put this example because usually American customer or people that live abroad and want like a pied-à-terre don't ask like in places this is the most profitable, because it's more like a pleaser buy. So they want to buy at a good price for the place, but they buy it with their heart more than with their finance. I don't know if I'm clear, but
No, we get you, Manuel. I keep telling you your English is way better than you think. We understand
Thank you very
everything.
much.
So the time is kind of short now, where it's 12:44.
I guess I can maybe take some other question, Romain,
Yeah.
to close.
Yeah. Hélène is asking, what has been the trend for real estate value over the past years? What is your prediction for upcoming years by arrondissement? Also, talk about the suburbs of Paris, please.
Yeah. So if you want to invest in Paris, first off, last 2 years, Paris lost around 10%. Okay, on the medium value of Paris. But Paris is very not like something homogeneous. Like it's some corner are very very cheap and some corner are very expensive. The most expensive corner are like the city center of Paris, like Le Marais, like the Seventh. American people love the Seventh, and this is very expensive because you have a lot of money in general in US. So if you want like to speak about the most beautiful and most expensive corner, there is not a real crisis because it's like the luxury market for us. If you speak about like the worst corner of Paris, which is close to Montmartre, Montmartre is a very good corner, but close to Montmartre, there is bad places. Okay, and I will never tell you to invest there because in this little corner, we have too much like public housing with like some. It's like I make some like with some bad people in some specific places. So people that have money doesn't want to live there because it's dangerous, to be honest. In a micro market, it's like a micro market. So you can buy in Paris with us from 6,000 square meter feet, no, not feet, square meter, okay, to like 12,000. So from 6,000 to 12,000 to buy. So it's very different. So if you want, Hélène, something more profitable, to sum up, I won't tell you to go outside Paris because if you go outside Paris in the very close suburb, usually people go to the beautiful market there in the beautiful suburb, which is the same price than Paris. For example, Neuilly-sur-Seine is like for people that are in California. I went to Marine, and Marine is more expensive or the less than San Francisco, for example. Okay, so it's not because it's not in the city center that it's less expensive. So we have like very beautiful suburb, very expensive and very residential. Kind of boring for me, but depends what you're looking for. Okay, so if you want to invest with some more profit in Paris, I will tell you to go to the east of Paris, where I am right now. And in the east of Paris, we have like it's close to Place de la Bastille. It's very close to Le Marais, but not in Le Marais. Le Marais is expensive. And you can go to the 11 or even to a more like Brooklyn 10 years ago, places which is like the 20th. And I invested in the 20th. The last flat I bought was in the 20th, and I bought it at like around 6 to 7,000 square meter. So it's a safe place. The gay community is coming there, which is for me a very good indicator that because before they were in Le Marais, the price goes like that. They went to the 11th. 11th is very expensive right now. And right now they are going to the 20th. And in the 20th, if you watch it, you have like organic food like shops that open, which is a very good indicator. And they make like, they invest to renovate it. So for example, the 20th is like Gambetta, or like there is like micro market. Not all the 20th is good, but if you are close to the 11th, usually is good.
Okay.
So, for example, we can help you to find the good corner, Hélène, because we can speak about for hours and we are passionate. So maybe some people are more interested about the south of France. So don't hesitate to ask us like a private meeting. I swear it's free, and our volunteer is like to show you that we are professional and like expert and to drive you to work with us, but you don't have to. So you will have like a lot of information for free.
Okay. Patrick says, do you do anything with rentals? I don't foresee being able to purchase until the sale of my own home here in the US. So I guess Patrick wanted to rent something maybe in Paris, a pied-à-terre.
Oh, you want to
Feel
rent?
free to reach out. Feel free to reach out to Manuel to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Sure.
And he had another question. He also said that your English was amazing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And does the down payment percentage change if you have a visitor visa?
No, the real point for the bank is like, do you live and earn money in France and work in France, or do you live abroad? So it's usually the same for people that are French or not French.
Okay.
If you live abroad, you live abroad for
Yeah.
the French bank.
Charles says, can you advise what's the market like in Lille? As an American, we may want to live closer to London and travel back and forth.
Interesting. Yeah, so Lille is nice. It's a good market. Honestly, the last 10 years, we had like a huge implantation in Lille and we made a lot of projects there. But like for 3 years, I guess, or 5 years, the price, it was very trendy 5 years ago for investor I speak about. And the problem is like the price went very expensive for like not one of the how could I say that? Not for the capital. And right now, you can make some good buys there, but the profit on the operation for rental is not the best. It's around 5%. So personally, for 5%, I prefer to invest in Paris. It's my point. Or in Nice, because Nice is it's a very good destination for investing right now. And the market is crazy because it's like, I didn't speak a lot about Nice and south of France, but Nice is amazing because we have like an international airport. We are close to Saint-Tropez, to Monaco. We have like a lot of school, like university. And we have like the best meteo weather
Weather.
in all France, best weather in all France. And we have like all the tourists, everything. It's beautiful. I love Nice. So you should consider it Nice as an investment if you don't know it yet. What about Lyon? Alors, Lyon is close to the place I come from because I come from the mountain, so east of France. Very beautiful region. But Lyon, honestly, for me, it's an amazing city. The economy is the second one in France after Paris. But the problem of Lyon is like, for me, it's overrated for the price. I speak about price because the price are decreasing for 5 years because it was at the top, it was like the same price than Paris. But Lyon is nice, it's beautiful, but the people doesn't earn, the worker doesn't earn like Paris. They are less rich than Parisian people because most of the big companies are in Paris. Just one point, I didn't say that, but like 31% of the gross, what do you call that, Romain? PIB, gross
GDP.
revenue. Yeah, 31% of the gross GDP of France are concentrated in Paris and suburb of Paris. So, and like 34% of the, or 35% of the, what do you call that, cadre, people that have like a good, the better job are in Paris.
Yeah.
So Paris has a bigger concentration of rich. So for me, to be honest, and maybe it will be a sum up, but Paris is a very, very good opportunity for me right now. I rethink it because the price decreased a little bit for 2 years. Because right now it's a very competing like a price compared to some like other capital in the world. And it's a city with like a lot of nice projects. What they want to make with Paris right now, which is not always easy for us living in Paris, but they want to make it like a beautiful vitrine of like luxury, like a pedestrian city center. They renew everything, they make it pedestrian, and they want like push all the people from the suburb away, which is like a politic. So they do that, and they forbid them to come with a car. Yeah, you can take taxi, Uber, everything to move inside the city, but it's not easy for people that don't live inside the city to come with their car, for example. So they are renovating everything, invest in pedestrian zone, and it's like a bobo. What do you call that in English? Bobo.
Let me look.
Bobo. We call that Bobo. It's like, yeah, like Democrats. Sorry about that. I don't know how to say
No,
that.
I don't
No, I'm
know.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Hipsters, if you want,
No,
but
not hipsters, because we
it's
have
not
hipsters
hipsters.
too.
It's not hipsters. Yeah.
It's more chic than hipster. Bobo is more
Yeah.
someone like that is like, yeah, like a Democrat with a bicycle and that have a lot of money. So yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm not doing politics, but yeah, I guess it's a good opportunity to come in the market because we see price right now that we didn't see for a long time, and for me, the economy, the tourist place, the international airport, everything in Paris is nice, and in Nice too. For me, the two better place to invest if you want to invest in something not profitable but in the better places in France is Paris, in a way, and like the south of France with Nice, Antibes, Cannes in the other end. And if you want something more profitable, we can go in all the cities of France. We do that for French people. Yeah.
Thomas is giving us a
Bougie. Yeah.
translation of Bobo is bougie.
Thank you, Thomas.
There's a little bit of bougie, yeah. I don't know. I think I think there's someone wrote a book about the whole Bobo movement. I don't know if there's a exact translation.
No, but this is people that take care of their house. They eat like organic food, and I eat
yeah,
organic food. I have a, for example, I have like a motorcycle, but it's an electric one. I have
yeah,
electric car. Yeah, so
yeah.
I am part of the movement. Yeah,
We'll
in a
ask
way.
ChatGPT. Everyone ask ChatGPT what is a Bobo, a French Bobo. Anali is asking, are you recording this seminar? I want to make a project with my daughter and I want to share this recording with her. For sure, all the webinars of Frenchly are recorded. We also stream live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So you'll get the recording in 24 hours.
Yeah, I guess like if you want to have more information or something more personalized about your project, just reach out of me and like send me an email, and I will help you the best I can. And we have a lot of video on YouTube, and we do a lot of stuff, but everything is in French, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to know something, maybe to finish. We have like around 20% of our customers that live abroad, mostly French people, to be honest. But we are not like a tourist company, for tourist company. We are real insider, and people that hire us are usually like French people that live in the city. So they pay us for a reason because they don't have time to make it. A project is very consume a lot of time. They don't have the expertise of each little market in the city. They can't negotiate like we do, and they can't follow the renovation like my team of architect does, etc., etc. So don't think like, oh, it's something for, and you can see at my accent, because if it would be like for tourists, I would be better in English, I guess.
Allez, we take the last question, then I'm gonna have to close. David is asking, he's saying, thank you for hosting this, very informational. Sorry. Can you talk
Yeah,
a little bit about the energy efficiency law policies? I heard
yeah, good
there will
question.
be a new or higher efficiency requirements.
Yeah, thank you, David. So yeah, France want to be like one of the nations that takes the ecological transition. I don't know if you call that like that, but we want to be better for the ecology for the next generation, and I'm proud of that. And so they just say like, okay, the building, offices building, and like residential building burn a lot of energy. So the thing is like if we invest to isolate it better, to have like a better system of heater, for example, that will be better for the next generation. So they put a law like 2 years or 3 years ago, changing some stuff and say like, okay, if your flat or your house is very bad in the consumption, you have to make some renovation. If you don't do that, you have like a bad notation, because there is notation right now. And if you have a bad notation, you can't rent it. It's just forbid. So you can live inside, but you can't rent it. It's forbid to rent. So they did that, saying like, okay, so if we do that, the property owner will have to make some works. First stuff like the work are not like crazy, depends on the flat, but it's not crazy or crazy expensive. For example, we have to change the window or this kind of stuff, so it's not crazy expensive. But they just so they put a calendar saying like on this year, all the worst one will put away from the rental market if they don't make renovation. And this year, so 2 years after, this one, this notation, etc., etc. It was too complicated and too hard. So they already make it more flexible, to time, and they are speaking about changing the system because we need some flat. Yeah, this is a point I didn't say, but in France, we don't have enough flat in the big city for rent. So the rental market is like very, very in tension
Tensed.
right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. So if you have a flat in like the place we can help you to invest in, you will have like fully rental income because people need it. For example, in Paris, there is like 10 people that ask for, and there is only like 7 flat. Okay, so there is too much tension. So in one way, they say like we need to take care of the ecological, and they're right. In another hand, they say like, okay, if we are too hard, some people will stop to rent, and we need more property to rent. So they are changing it. So to sum up, yes, there is a restriction. You're right, David. They already changed it 2 times. And plus, if we work together, for sure, we'll tell you like what is the notation right now. And if we need to make something in the renovation, this is one of our criteria. And we renovate it and we manage it for you to have the good notation so you can rent it forever in the system. So,
All right. I remember that you have another meeting starting very soon, so we're gonna let you go, Manuel.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks all for connecting. And
Maybe I can just share the calendar meeting, but I guess it's better that you make me just an email first. But I will put you up in the chat the link to take a meeting.
Yeah. So I put it again so everybody has it. I see we have a couple people also following us on YouTube Live. So I'll put it on YouTube as well if you want to book an appointment with Manuel and his team. All right.
And you have my mail in the chat too. So my mail, I don't know if they see it on YouTube, Romain.
Yeah, I'll put it on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so
right.
thank you, Romain.
Yeah, and we'll do more webinars beginning of next year on different topics. So stay connected on Frenchly. Thank you all and have a lovely day. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Merci.
Thanks.